Hey guys, how's it going? And thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money. You know, schools aren't, so let's get started. So this is another stock market weekly recap, guys. If you've been following us, welcome back. And if you haven't, what we do is we look at the previous week in the stock market, look at some popular news stories, look at individual stocks, and a couple mutual funds just to see what's going on. So let's get into it. And this was the week of November 20th, 2017, and this was a shorter week because of the holiday Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, guys. Hopefully everything went well. You had good turkey and hang out with friends and family. So first, starting off with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you can see for this week, well, first let's look at the setup here. For the past 5 days, it is showing us last Friday. The market was closed Thursday for Thanksgiving, and it closed early on Friday, just to let you guys know. But you can see for this, or at least for the 5 days, it was up a pretty good amount of 0.86%, halfway to the 24,000 mark, and over 19% per the year. The next index, the S&P 500, closed up around the same as the Dow, a little bit more, with 0.91%. And looking at the technology index, the NASDAQ, they closed up around 1.5%. So actually very, very nice this week. And again, if you look at the year to date, just completely crushing it, almost 28%. And we still have a month to go for the year. So obviously you could see that this week did very nice actually, and just this whole year as a whole has been incredible, guys, for 2017. Now with the last month, I think we're probably going to be just fine, but for 2018 is definitely going to be interesting. A lot of people are expecting a correction, maybe even more like a crash happening. And you know, there are things kind of looking like it could possibly happen, but there are also things like maybe not. But I'm not going to expect 2018 to be like 17. Of course, we would all like that to happen. Now, real quick, speaking of next month, for December, I did come out with a video going over the 4 stocks that I'm watching for December 2017. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to check out. I go over a few stocks that I have on my radar for the upcoming month. I feel like that might be like a frequent type of video topic I might get into. And I know a lot of other YouTubers are doing that as well, so I might jump onto that wagon too. So with Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all those online sales, right guys? Amazon has been doing phenomenal this year, but I'm definitely looking at them around this time of year for the holidays and next month. So let's look at them. You can see for the 5-day change, they are up almost 5%. Very, very strong. Year to date, just crushing it. Getting close to that 60% and over $1,100, coming close to $1,200 per share. Now, I have been investing in them a while back, and their return, obviously, like you just saw, has been very, very good. Just like Black Friday, I feel like a lot of people still go to that type of thing, but just online stuff is kind of taking over. A lot of people are just going on Amazon rather than going to stores, getting trampled, and possibly punched over a pair of jeans. Or a TV for that matter. But a lot of people are watching Amazon stock because of that reason in itself. Because online is really attacking retail. And I think Amazon, especially for the long term, is just going to kill it. Now for the short term, a lot of people do see it as overvalued. You know, their PE is like astronomical. I think it's close to like 200 when, you know, fair market price is around like 17, 18. And Amazon is actually one of the stocks that I'm watching for December. And if it like corrects or crashes at like any point, I'll probably get in more just because Amazon is looking very, very nice for the future. Speaking of very, very nice for the future, coming up on our normal stocks now, guys. First with Apple, you can see that they closed almost at the 175 mark. For their 5-day, they are at 2.83%. Now, especially, I like Apple because of their new release of course, their iPhone 10s. I think for the holiday season and definitely into next year, a bunch of people are going to be getting into that phone. Despite that $1,000 price target, it's like the newest, biggest, best phone out there, and people go for that type of stuff. So I think sales for that is going to be great, and Apple is going to be just as great. Plus, they have a dividend. Warren Buffett has been investing in it for, like the past year maybe. So he believes in it too. So we're just going to have to see how that goes. Possibly first trillion-dollar company in the world. But we'll see. So moving on to the next stock is Disney. For Disney, they have been down for the past 5 days of 0.77%. Still negative for the year. However, still above their $100 mark. We're getting closer, guys, to the Star Wars release. Whether you like Star Wars or not, a bunch of people are going to watch it. And they have talked about starting up a new Star Wars trilogy. So that could definitely start a rebound for Disney. Moving on into some tech stock plays. With Facebook, they closed over 2% for the past 5 days. They closed at 182.78, and still year to date looking just dandy, closing toward the 60%. And the next big tech play that we got watching on here is, that wasn't English, but is Google. They were up around, I think that was the same percent of 2%. Still above that $1,000 mark, very nice, and over 30%. So this year they've been just killing it, just like basically everyone else. Now you could see with a lot of these plays, guys, it was pretty good for this week. Like 2% for a bunch of guys. And that's usually around holiday time. Like the last month of the year, a bunch of people are spending money on these types of things, especially tech stocks and that type of thing. So those types of companies are attractive, so they go up. So that's why I think the last month of the year is probably going to do actually very well. Some people call it the Santa Claus rally because they might relate it to, let's say, like sales of last year compared to this year, and most likely people are going to spend more this year than last year. So that's why everything's going up. But moving on to the next one is Starbucks. A little bit down, nothing too crazy. I mean, they were kind of all over the place with their peaks and valleys, but down around 0.23%. Year to date, still in the positive, just over 2%, but I'm still waiting on their rebound. So those were the individual stocks. Let's look at a mutual fund that we normally look at, which is Fidelity Contra Fund. They closed at 128.96. You could see their chart. That's the 1 month chart, by the way. But for the past week, they were up around 1.5%, similar to all the other tech stocks that we looked at as well. So those were kind of all the movers that we had for this week, guys. I do know the tax reform is still kind of in the works. I'm waiting to see how that goes on. Of course, I feel like if that happens, especially with that corporate tax rate of the 35%, and it'll have dropped to 20%, that's definitely going to help companies out a lot. Maybe not specifically for 2018, because obviously the tax year have changed. So those effects are probably going to be seen in 2019 if it does go through. But still waiting on that. Hopefully that's soon to come. And let me know what you guys think, especially for the 2018 year. Do you think there's going to be a crash? Do you think there's going to be correction? For what reason? Do you think Bitcoin's going to collapse? Who knows? But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. We'll see what happens. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because not many people do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.